facial recognition, live facial recognition, has not been voted for by the public. It has not even been voted for in Parliament. It is operating completely out of any sort of legislative jurisdiction. And actually, when you say there are cases which haven't been verified as to whether there have been mistaken identities, there actually are. And Big Brother Watch, which is an amazing organisation, a civil liberties organisation, campaigning group, they have cases on their website, and in fact, they're fundraising at the moment. And to give you an example, there's a guy on their website that they talk about, Sean Thompson, who works for an amazing organisation called Street Fathers, and they work with boys that might go into crime. And Sean was actually working for them, and he's a black guy, and actually ethnic minorities are much more likely to be misidentified by this technology. And Sean was working for his organisation, and on his way home, he gets collared by 3 or 4 police officers who get him in a corner and say, "We've just recognised your face from our camera." And he said, it's not me, it's genuinely not me. And even the police sort of admitted it probably wasn't him, and he had his passport, and he said, "Look, I'm a youth worker. I get kids off the street, I get them away from crime." But they still kept him for half an hour and massively inconvenienced his life. There are other examples, because it's not just the police, Patrick, that have these powers. It's private companies who will stop people going into shops if they think that they're a shoplifter. And it isn't always accurate. And there's a case on Silky Carla's website, as I say, on Big Brother Watch, of a young girl who got misidentified. She was newly at university in Manchester. And she talks about the fact that she was crying, she was embarrassed, she was humiliated. She'd never been in the shop before. She'd just moved to town. And she was told by the company that it was human error that had given rise to that misidentification. But it's okay, it's only human error. And that poor girl now feels like she can't prove her innocence for a long time. She said she had days where she couldn't prove it wasn't her. So it does go wrong.
I mean, there's been a case that I heard of a bloke who was wrongly identified as a suspected murderer. And that's quite a hard thing to get shaken off, isn't it? But it's also, for me anyway, just completely ridiculous. I don't know about you, Bev, but every time I'm out and I get on the London Underground or I go out, I just go outside the studio, actually, there's always lads, and it almost is always lads, who've got the full balaclavas on or masks on, and you think, well, who's this facial recognition technology really going to catch? Do you trust them when they say, they promise you that they are deleting all of this data if it doesn't match any crimes?
Well, of course not. And I would say, even if they're doing that now, the other question that I always ask people when we talk about this surveillance, you know, we've seen all sorts of people. Even it's not even about the Labour Party. All the parties are all kind of united on this. You know, Chris Philp, the Shadow Home Secretary, was saying it's a logical step in our crime fighting. They're all sort of assuming this is just going to happen, and nobody's really questioning it. I say to people, who is the politician you hate most in the world, be that alive or dead? People will often say, you know, Donald Trump or whatever at the moment. I think, picture the politician you hate the most and imagine this power in their hands. It might be left, it might be right, it doesn't matter actually. You know, during the pandemic, I was on the government's watch list. They had a file on me because of the position that I took during that period of time. I had to ask for that with a subject access request. So I was considered to be a threat to the state. I now feel fully vindicated for the things that I was saying, in fact. But that's the danger with this. When the crime can be just plucked out of thin air, then that is any of us on the street, Patrick. We work for TV News. It's very controversial.